everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Perfect Blend podcast. In yo MF and ass. I'm trying to not cuss anymore because I'm trying to, get jobs out here. But I'm super excited. Welcome back to the show, you all. My name is Kaleef, also go by Kay. This is the Perfect Blend Podcast Pride Series. I know Pride Month is technically over, but we are still celebrating Pride all the way up into July, honey. And I'm really, really excited because I have a special guest today. But before I introduce my guest, quick housekeeping. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Kaleef Now. That's KALEEFNOW. And then my guest, introduce your socials before I introduce you.
Oh, okay, cool, no problem. It would be Velitrix, but it's at underscore VELIT RIX underscore. We can do that later.
Perfect. Awesome. So, yes, so super, super excited to have you. If you all have not watched the recent episodes, go ahead and catch up on the recent Pride Series episodes, as this is a special package of the Perfect Blend podcast, where I am talking to people directly in community who I know, who are also advocates, and they, give back to the community and they do the good work that we do, coming to my show and sharing pieces of their lives and sharing who they are, as this is a form of storytelling and documenting who we all are, right? So it would mean so much to me if you go back and watch the previous episodes. I believe there's 6 out right now. My most recent guest was Brenda Villanueva, who I love to death. And she's also best friends with Andres here. So yes, go back and check out those episodes and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So here we go. We have my guest, Andres Veliz. Welcome.
Yay, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
You are so welcome. And also too, for the people who are watching, yes, I do wear glasses. I am squinting. So look, she has vision issues, but if I put the glasses on, you'll see a glare. So maybe I'll keep the glasses on today. But look, we're trying, okay? But no, so Andres, thank you for being here. And really quickly, Andres is a 23-year-old Venezuelan journalist trainee, professional drama queen, and Spice Girls #1 fan, but also, Andres is the activities coordinator at the LA LGBT Center. Shout out to the center. So Andres has done a lot, and Andres is an amazing advocate, a fellow journalist trainee just like myself, honey. But we might as well go ahead and claim it. Look, we journalists here, okay? We gotta claim it.
Period.
We gotta claim it. We gotta get the byline. The girls going on us about the bylines though. Yeah. They don't respect the content. They want the bylines. But okay, so Andres, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I hope my English brain stays with me throughout this conversation. I hope English doesn't run away. But yes, my name is Andres Veliz. I'm 23 years old. I'm Miss Venezuela. I come from Caracas, Venezuela. I am a Libra, which it shows.
Oh, you are. Oh yeah, you're an air sign and an Aquarius. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, that's why we vibe. I'm a gay man, very proud. I'm Afro Latino. I'm very proud. This melanin that I have is a gift, and I love it. And yeah, I'm the son of Rosalba and David, the brother to Miguel, and the grandson to Arcadia and Eulalia. And I'm very proud of all of that. And yeah, I've been in this country for almost 2 years now, and it's been kind of crazy. It's been like a roller coaster of emotions, non-stopping. I haven't stopped since I came here, but I'm very grateful to everybody that, in the way here, like, I think you never make it on your own, and there's so many people that I have to thank for what I'm doing and for what I will do. Now you've been part of them, so thank you so much for having me here today.
Oh,
really, really exciting. And yeah, I'm in a very happy little nugget of time right now, so I'm vibing to it.
I love that, and I appreciate your energy. Sorry if I'm making facial expressions. I'm looking at my eyes on the camera.
You're like, I can't see.
These eyes look good today. I got lashes on. I put on lashes for you, child. I put on some lashes for Andres, honey. I had to pull on a lash for my fellow diva. Okay, so Andres, you said that you recently moved here to Los Angeles, to the States 2 years ago. So you came here in 2021, correct?
Yes, October 2021, 2 days after my birthday.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, a true Libra. Yes.
Yeah, truly, bro.
So, with being here in the States now and coming from Venezuela, being an Afro Latino male identifying person who's would you consider yourself on the femme spectrum as well?
Yes, I consider myself cisgender, but I do think that your expression, like, it flows. One day I'm like, okay, let's do a little eyeshadow, and some other days I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, let's wear my backwards hat. I don't speak like this when I don't speak like this when I have a backwards hat, but I do think I depending on my mood, I act in it, and it's drag, honey.
Yes, life is drag. Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so with all of that being said, how has it been adjusting to being here in the States? Because I'm curious about your background and how you grew up and how that experience was for you coming from Venezuela. But how has it been just adjusting for the last 2 years? Because you said it's been a little rough for you.
It's been extremely rough. I think, of course, I came during the pandemic, and so in Venezuela they were really, really strict about not leaving your house. So I hadn't left my house in almost 2 years prior, and like I lived in my room, I worked in my room, like I was super pale. I mean, I was just working, 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 and doing college online. And I didn't see none of my friends. I saw my friends like once or twice before living here during that period of time.
Mhm.
And so to have that, but luckily I appreciate that because I got to be with my parents for like almost only with my parents. So we had a lot of quality time together. And then leaving Venezuela, which was a whole thing, luckily, legally, and everything with the visa and stuff. But doing traveling solo to a different country on my own, without my parents, it was kind of like very, very nerve wracking. But my
Mhm.
mom always tells me that I looked really brave, but inside I was like, oh my god, what do I do?
Oh. So
But I
she.
never, what?
Oh, go ahead. I interrupted you. Sorry.
It's quite alright. But she always says that she wasn't nervous for me because I presented so brave and so like ready for it. But inside, I didn't feel like that. Like I was just pretending because I really was. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know what was gonna be of me. But luckily, my family here, my cousin Miguel, who I'm gonna send this to, and this is a shout out to him because I love him with all my heart.
Oh.
Um, I He met me once, almost 10 years prior, and he opened the doors of his house to me and his life to me and his friends and his mind. He's just such a beautiful gift to me, and so and super supportive of me being gay as well. It's like, hey, this is my gay cousin. It's
Mhm.
like super fun, and I adore him forever, and my aunt Laura as well. And yeah, I live in Orange County, which again, from Venezuela to Orange County, quite a change.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because Orange
People
County is a bit conservative.
very conservative,
Very conservative. Yeah.
very white and very conservative,
Mhm.
and I'm very not that.
Right.
Uh, but it was nonetheless it was a beautiful experience. The people that I met there are my family, and so yeah. Other than that, moving from Orange County to LA with my family here in LA too was beautiful. With my cousin Kim, and yeah, it has been a roller coaster. It is, but luckily I've had people here. Always, every move that I made, it's been thought after, and it's been supported, and I'm very grateful for that. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna be like, no, I was chilling the whole time. There were times I was like, am I gonna be homeless?
Like
There were times
life was really hitting you.
it was being. I was at 22. I was like, I'm an adult. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I don't find a way to make it work, like there's no way I can go back, and so like I have to make it happen here. And
Yeah.
so I think it built a lot of strength. That anxiety that I had built a lot of strength in me because, like, luckily now I'm in such a beautiful house and such beautiful job and such beautiful people. But like, I wasn't.
Oh, I think someone's calling you. Yes. Are you still there? Was someone calling you?
I'm here. Are we good?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. I think um, being. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Well,
Edit, edit.
let's pause for a second. Let's get to the next question here. So,
Yeah.
with all of that being said, before we get a little bit deeper into like some of your recent experiences, do you want to share about how was life in Venezuela growing up to getting where you are now, and also too, how was your if you had a coming out experience, how was that? Coming from where you come from.
Yeah, those are two questions. I'm gonna try to do it separately, but they kind of intertwine in the
Hmm.
sense that growing up in Venezuela, I think I had a beautiful childhood. Um, I'm a mama's boy. I'm very close to my mom. We don't look anything alike, but which again I appreciate of her, that a son that didn't look like her, did not talk like her, did not behave like her. She has accepted me so much. I'm forever grateful for that. But yeah, I was kind of sheltered, very protective. I was always been very sensitive. Venezuela, it's been a country that when I was little, it was okay, but the crisis slowly became greater and greater. And 2016 is a year that I think for any Venezuelan, even in Venezuela or outside of Venezuela, was rough because it was like the whole country crumbled. We didn't have any food. We didn't have toilet paper. We didn't have anything, and so that's why I think and my parents worked super super hard to at least like to pretend like nothing was happening, but
Mm.
they like you could see them struggling, and so again I think now I appreciate them that much more because it like we ate, like I never missed a meal, but I could see my friends getting slimmer, my parents getting slimmer because they would like we would eat and they would like sacrifice that, if that makes sense.
That makes
Uh,
sense.
and I would see my friend, oh, most of my friends also going through the same thing. It was really really tough, but luckily, as lonely things got a little bit better, my parents got a little bit better financially, and we were able to get out of it. And so again, it was 2016. I was 16, and that was the same year that I came out as well. So I was 16 years old, and I did not come out by it's like I didn't say hi guys, I'm gay. Like you know me, you know I'm gay. Like I don't even have to. I
You didn't
people
even have
tell
to
me like
say it.
there's like a rainbow aura to me.
Oh yes. Hmm.
I'm very gay, and I love that.
The girls
Um,
have an aura. We all have an aura to us. Yes.
that
Hmm.
part.
Yes.
And so my mom sat me down and she was like, "Do you like girls?" And I just cried. And I just cried
Mm.
and cried. And I was like, "No, they're weird."
So that was like how it happened. She was just like, "Do you like girls?" And you were just kind of
I
like
was
crying.
like, "No."
Huh. Uh-huh.
And she hugged me and she was okay, but you need to be careful, this and that. Really, really nice. But she was, I think she's always been protective. And I think um, in whichever reaction our parents have, we should always understand like their background in the sense that my mom comes from a very, very small town in the mountains of Venezuela. Everybody's conservative, everybody's little, everybody's white.
Yeah.
And so her having me, it was also kind of like understanding our differences and the growing arc and the educational arc for her. And so I think now we can kiki and we can talk about boys and we can do everything. But at first, she didn't want to. When I was little, she would not accept it and she would not like it. But at 16, she was like, okay. There's not. Then I went to therapy, but not therapy for my well-being, but therapy. The therapist would tell me, you can change what you're doing, right? You can be more masculine and you can walk a certain way. And it was several different therapists growing up because I was being so heavily bullied at school that again, looking back at it, I understand why that was the end game to change me. But that period of time, I think, was extremely damaging to my mental health, even today,
Mm.
because I'm self conscious of my walk. I'm self conscious of the way I present. And then I was little, and then I grew tall, 6'2", and then I call a different kind of attention. And
Mm.
so it made me like in America and in all my asylum documentations, we talk about that as conversion therapy.
Yeah, I
Um,
was gonna ask. I was like, was this conversion therapy that
it,
occurred?
looking back at it, I think it is, but
But
I
it
would
wasn't
always,
explicitly called that.
yeah, I would say that. I would say it was conversion therapy because it wasn't just one person; it was several different therapists that they all. The one thing they had in common was them telling me that if I could be less feminine or that I could speak differently, and then I went through different treatments and again, I've always been really sensitive, but that period of time was so significant in the way that I am right now, in the sense that kind of like breaking free from all of those stigmas. It's not easy, but it's a process that I'm still doing. And so I'm very thankful to my parents because at the same time, like they did it out of love and out of seeing me coming home crying every day and having almost no friends and kids being really mean to me. Because again, I went to an Italian high school. And so if you look at me, I'm not Italian. And so not Italian, very, or not European descent, and very dark, very feminine, very different. Different is always scary. And so
Wow.
um,
Sorry to interrupt you. I love what you just said about how I was very brown, I was very dark, and different was always very scary.
yeah,
Because, you know, not to center myself because you're the guest here, but you know, being a black femme and also you being an Afro Latino
yeah,
femme identifying individual or you know femme adjacent individual, um, it's interesting how the world sees us,
yeah,
right? So it's interesting how when we're in different spaces, such as you know various schools, like you said, you went to an Italian school, right? And
yeah,
how intricate that experience was. You know, it's just interesting how when we show up as who we are, um, you know, who we are could be so shocking and so threatening to people without us being threatening. If that
yeah,
makes sense, it's just
yeah,
who we are, and what society or the societies that we're from, or the countries that we're from, you
yeah,
know, say like stereotype us, you know, or like the images that you see of people like us.
yeah,
Yeah, that made sense by that, but
yeah. It makes, and please interrupt me. That's why we connect. We have
no,
that in
you're the
common.
guest, honey. I just love how you said that.
No, yes, and it's again, all most of these thoughts I've had after coming out of Venezuela and after like I never thought of it as trauma, but doing therapy in America with a gay therapist, he was like, "No, sir, that's trauma. We need to process that together," because it was a lot like, um, yeah, and almost also in school, I have beautiful friendships now with those people, but most of I was pushed downstairs, I
Mm,
was called many things, I was spit on, I was like, it was very aggressive and very abrasive, and so
I'm
again
so
coming
sorry.
out of it, pardon.
I'm so sorry that you went through those things.
It's okay. I'm stronger than yesterday, like Whitney. But but yeah, and almost even on the race topic, I have professors that would tell me there's nothing worse than a black man that's feminine in class. Me being the only black man in class, so everybody would look at me because I'm feminine, and then they're like, it's like the paradigm kind of like being aggressive and abrasive towards you. Um,
That's
but
horrible because you're a student sitting in class and an adult
yeah.
literally says there's nothing worse than being that, and they're blatantly calling you out in the classroom and
Yeah,
isolating you and targeting you. That is horrible.
it's to a kid, it's really bad. And again, in my asylum process, talking to my friends from high school, like there's so many things that I blocked out.
Because it was so
Like,
traumatic.
yeah, there's so many things that they no remember when this happened and you were crying and you wouldn't come out of the bathroom. Remember when this happened and this they tried to punch you and we had to defend. Like so many things that I only remembered because they told me. I was like, again, that's trauma. And
Mm.
so that's my reaction to that. But again, I, if anything, in today from that specific part of high school, and again, coming from a very conservative family, evangelical on one side, Christian on the other side, um, it was very abrasive because I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. You know what I mean? Like in school, nobody likes me. I go home, nobody likes me. My family, nobody likes me. It's like,
Mm.
and that kind of was like the pre-show to my having depression in college, because it's all of that. It's all of those feelings kind of like being compressed to your heart. But all of that being said, the one person, I'm going to try to say this without crying, that always was there for me, it was my grandmother, my black grandmother. um, Sorry, just really
It's
miss
okay.
her.
No, it's
Um, I have a picture of her right by my bed, by the way, I can show you. This is my grandmother.
Oh, that's
Um,
so beautiful.
yeah.
Oh, thank
And
you for sharing that. And
of
if you
course.
need a moment, it's totally fine. Because I
Oh
just
no,
want to
Diva.
say,
Feelings are human. We're good.
right, but
We can keep
I
going.
want to acknowledge, I just want to say thank you for being so open to sharing that publicly. Because,
Yeah.
you know, we don't know who will watch this, but by you just sharing what you've been through, people need to see that. There are Black and Afro Latino gay boys and, children and, who need to see that,
Yeah.
there are adults who need to see this, who are healing in this. I mean, even me, seeing who you are, we have a lot of similarities. I was like, oh, I had no idea you went through that. Because I went through literally some of the exact same things that you went through growing
Yeah.
up as well, where the bullying was so horrible. And when I went to college for undergrad, I was running around with all of this
Wait.
pain,
Yeah.
like just a lot of it, and people did not understand what to do with me. People did not care. I had a few friends who cared, but it was very they cared, but it was also limited, right? I think for some of them we were also young, so
Yeah.
they didn't really know what to. I felt like back when I was like in my early 20s, you know what I mean? Because I'm 30 now, but in my earlier 20s, I was really carrying so much of the trauma from all those things. And it was a lot. So just by you sharing that and saying how you're currently navigating that and just acknowledging where you are and how
Yeah.
in real time you're still getting through that, but you're learning and you're growing. I just want to affirm you in this moment. And
And
I
I
appreciate
appreciate that, sister. Sister, I appreciate that, sister.
it. Oh, yes.
But yeah, just to finish that point, my grandma, again, black woman in Venezuela, we make less than 10% of the population.
Hmm.
Um, and she would always, even though I'm biracial, she would always be like, "You're a black man, and you need to be presentable, and you need to behave well, and you need to be respectable." And she would always, and that's something that I see in black grandmas in America as well, like that kind of spirit that drive us all and that connects us all together.
Yeah.
And I remember just anecdotically the last time that I saw her, I was wearing very ripped jeans. They were super super ripped that I made myself. They were awful, but I liked them at the time.
Hmm.
And my family, my aunts, my dad, everybody was like, "You look awful. You have to take that off. Like that's not cute." And then making comments around that being like feminine. And
Mm.
then my grandmother was like, "Come here." And then she sat me next to her, and she was like, "Don't pay no mind to any of those bitches." Her daughters, her daughters, and those
Mm.
bitches. Do you like it? Do you like those jeans? I was like, "Yeah, I like it." Then you wear them with pride, but you don't pay attention to what nobody else has to say about you. You only care about
Mm.
what you have to say about you. And I took that in a way as her being okay with my being gay. I don't know if that makes
Mm.
sense. Because
Yeah.
she's like, because all of that talk was so toxic and so damaging.
So
Um,
with all of that talk being so toxic and so damaging, and you going through that and having a grandmother who supported you and had your back and instilled in you, hey, F what these people have to say, you carry your head high.
yeah.
She did instill respectability politics in you as well, but to a certain extent, we live in a world where being respectable does give you access to safety in a way, especially if you are Black. It does,
Yeah.
and I know that we live in an age now where everyone's like, oh, let's not be respectable anymore. But I feel like when people say that, I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of it because there is a level of respectability as long as you keep it checked and you're aware of it, but there is a
Yeah.
level of respectability that does provide people a sense of safety. So,
Yeah.
and that's not the problematic, respectable people who are condescending and looking down on people, not them. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, we all can act like in certain spaces you do have to move a certain way. That's just how it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Um, so with all of that being said, let's get back to the bullying piece. With the bullying, looking back on that, like, how do you feel? Like, now that you're on the other side?
I feel many types of way. I think sometimes I'm like, I wish I hadn't been bruised that harshly and that profoundly for so long. But at the same time, I feel like from such heavy, heavy burden and heavy, heavy pain came a really empathetic heart that I feel like I have, and I feel I wouldn't say I feel sorry for little Andres. I would say I would love to hug him, and I would love to be like, look at you, look what all you're doing, look at all you're gonna do. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fine.
Mhm.
Because I didn't feel like things were gonna be fine. I didn't see a possibility for me to exist. You know, because
Mhm.
my paradigm felt so abrasive against me. Um, and so I think the bullying. Sometimes now I see people that bully other people as people that have black themselves,
Mhm.
and so I don't see myself reflected in your life. Like you can say whatever you want about me. That's on you. It is on me to let it filter today.
Mhm.
Um, and so, like, if the same comments they would make about me, about my skin tone, about my walk, if they made it today, I'll be like, "Do you have a mirror? Do you have a mirror? Do you have a personal mirror? Look
Mhm.
at it. Talk."
Oh,
Like that's none of my business what you think about
well,
me.
it's people projecting, and when people run
Yeah,
around spewing out poison, that is a certain energy. That is something that they are carrying, and it's really like a poison, where
yeah,
they're kind of venomous. They have to get it out. You get me?
yeah.
So if you're different, they have to get it out, and then when it hits you, you got to be able to. Because sometimes it gets to us. People have the saying of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, may never hurt me. Words do hurt. I wish that people would stop saying shit like that. Look, words do hurt.
They do.
People, no, no, no.
They
Let's
hurt
be
the
honest.
soul.
Words do hurt. People do
Yeah.
not have thick skin. Everyone always says, "Oh, you gotta have thick skin. You have to have thick skin." No one has thick skin. People learn how to cope with the shittiness of the world that we live in. You get what I'm saying? Some people are
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god," I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but lately it's been annoying me how people are like, "Yeah, I have thick skin," and it's like, no one has thick skin. Everyone's sensitive. Everyone is sensitive. That's just my philosophy. I'm like, everyone's sensitive. Everyone is. Even the people who didn't get the level to express their sensitivity, and they became kind of hard. They became hard because they at one point they were sensitive as well and no one cared. That's why they're hard now. That's why they're so like tough now. But with all
Yeah.
that being said, thank you for sharing your points on bullying. I'm sorry, you got me going with that one. I was like
It's all right. It's all right.
no.
I like that you feel it. That's good. That's what it
Yes.
matters.
So being from Venezuela, um, what are your thoughts on gay culture there and gay culture here? Can you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that?
Girl, I have only time for that. I have a lot of thoughts about that. I think in Venezuela, being gay, again, being a minority, also not having any rights in the constitution,
Mm-hmm.
it was just a few months back, it was illegal to be in the army and be Venezuelan. And be gay, sorry. Like, it was illegal. You could not be gay in the army. Like, that's insane. And so, being not very protected, I think that gives for a community that's very, we call it, let me think of the word, like people love to present as straight but be gay behind closed doors, and for protection I do not blame them for doing that, for
They were
being so
down low and in the closet.
DL, that part.
Mhm.
Most people are. And so when I lived in Venezuela, I never dated anyone, I never did anything. I was also I, this is gonna be a little controversial yet brave, but I think in Venezuela, the most masculine you are, and the whiter you are, and the most money you have, the most attractive you are. And I think that that's the better that says a lot, not only about Venezuela but about Latin culture in general. When it comes to gay, macho culture, being masculine and being big, so it's the standard. And so for me, I've never went to a gay club. I had gay friends, but when we went out, people would like kind of look at us funny.
Mhm.
And my friends now in Venezuela, my gay friends in Venezuela, they're working in organizations, they're getting the work done, they're trying to get our rights. I'm so proud of them. But it's hard. It's hard when you have to have like four jobs to bring food to the table and try to exist in a world where you're accepted. I don't know if that makes sense.
That
And
makes
so
perfect sense.
like covering your grounds is hard, but if anything, I command them and I give them all their power for doing the change that in time will be much appreciated by the future generations. And so, with that being said, being gay in America for me, it has been such a fun experience in some
Oh.
ways,
Hmm.
and in some other ways, have been informative in the sense that there is this thing about me having an accent. and me perhaps looking like people cannot quite figure me out when they see me. So they're like,
Also, in America, they see you as ambiguous here.
and they see me as ambiguous. They're like, "What are you?" I'm like, "I'm a human being." Like,
And
I don't know.
exotic, do you feel that they exoticize you here?
Very much so,
Hmm.
very much so. But you know what? I play with it because don't go against it. Like I know I don't take it too seriously because that's I'm
Mm.
23. That's just like let's have fun or whatever.
So you're saying
Um,
that you kind of play into it a little bit with people?
maybe.
Yes. No, but at least you're admitting it. I
Yeah.
feel like when we have our cultural differences or our ethnic differences, um, I think a lot of people figure out how to not look at it as a weakness
Yeah.
and how to play into it and kind of reclaim your power in that way. And when
Yeah.
we say play into it, I don't want to make it seem like you're like fake or anything, but I think what you're saying is like you're
It's gonna happen anyway. I might as well just play with it. I might as well just roll with the punches. I don't know if that makes sense.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if
Like it's gonna
I
happen
don't want.
anyway, girl.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. No, I love your perspective, because
Yeah.
there are people who, for example, I've been thinking a lot about how black women show up in Hollywood and entertainment, right? And
Yeah.
there's been this thing against Megan Thee Stallion and Janelle Monáe lately, or just black women who lead with sexuality in their music, or you get me, or they're more comfortable with their sexuality or expressing their femininity in their bodies and things like that. And I've just
Yeah.
been thinking about how people police black women in particular. But there are women who are black women who play into it, like a Megan Thee Stallion. I think Megan Thee Stallion, and I love her, but what I'm saying is I think that she understands.
Yeah.
She understands that people put her somewhere as a black woman, and she
Yeah.
plays on it, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
it's sort of like
internal.
Lizzo. I think Lizzo does the same thing. So they are who they are, but I feel like they understand how people perceive them, which is why they tap into their differences and create change in that way, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That
Yeah,
makes perfect sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I
oh,
feel the same way about that. Sorry to interrupt
no,
you.
you're good.
No,
You're
I feel the
good.
same way.
Okay, so moving on here. Um, oh, we have so much to discuss. Now, you are a journalist trainee. What are your thoughts on the field of journalism right now? Because what we're seeing now, we have the traditional journalism and then we have the digital journalism right now. And not
Yeah.
only that, journalism doesn't really pay. A lot of journalists are trying to be influencers now. A lot of them
Yeah.
are freelance. There's not a lot of jobs for journalists. So, what are your thoughts on journalism right
I
now?
have
Thoughts on that?
met. I became a journalist. My grandfather was a journalist, and I grew up admiring him so much.
Mm,
But I think that I've done radio journalism, which I loved because it's such like you can say a lot with very few words if you choose them wisely in the radio because people are not paying that much attention to you anyway.
mm,
And I like that. I've done digital journalism, which has been really interesting for me, seeing the numbers. That a piece about this might as well be very niche to Latino because I used to write in Spanish for American public, for like Latino people living here in America. How a piece about a Mexican actress getting a nose job and a breast job got 11 times more traction than a story about gay legislation or a story
mm,
about something that is actually going to change the way you live and something that information that's actually helpful to your existence. And so
mm,
I think the world we live in right now is really like we cannot do anything about how people perceive the things we put out. All we can do is try to provide information that can help them improve their lives and improve and inform the decision making. And so
mm.
my thoughts on journalism right now is that it's changing. The pace is a lot faster. Photojournalism is amazing. I have friends that do it. Shout out to Victoria Mendes and Joshua Freitas, my friends from college. They're doing a great
Shout
job.
out,
Shout
yes.
out to my girls.
Shout out.
Um,
We love our girls here at the Perfect Blend, okay?
we do, we do.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm eager to go back into it. I love talking, as you can tell right now.
Hmm.
And I think again, and props to you not only for being a journalist, diva, ready for
Oh,
the runway,
Thank
But in
you.
the
Thank you.
future, I think that the goal of a journalist is to help people make informed choices, and I think that's one of the greatest things you can do. So, congrats on that.
Thank you so much. No, thank you for sharing that. And thank you for um, breaking down what you've done in journalism and a few of the differences with what you've done and what you've noticed as well, and highlighting your friends and also showing me some love. I appreciate it because a lot of the journalists are not that friendly. They are
I
not
know.
friendly. My God, they're so fucking mean.
Wait,
Journalists, I'd be like, why are y'all so mean? Who hurt you? Damn,
on
you're a mean
that
person.
on
Jeez,
that topic, some
they're so
journalists
mean.
they love to grind for other journalists' recognition in a lingo that's not understandable to the general public. Let me tell you, I'm clapping because I'm upset about that. Journalism up to be understandable by the general masses. If you
Mhm.
just want to grind, if you want to be a philosopher, become a philosopher and grind some other place. But you
Oh,
need to make things understandable for the
right.
people. Otherwise, I don't need like you don't need it doesn't need to be for a preschool student. But everybody has to understand what you're trying to the message you're trying to convey. Otherwise, what's the sense of you trying to inform something? Somebody's gonna have to have a dictionary next to the newspaper. That makes
Right.
no sense. Thank you. I got it out of my system. Like, ooh.
Wait, so your point is that basically some journalists are too intricate? Is that what you're saying? What do you mean?
I
Elaborate more.
think some journalists grind for the recognition of other journalists rather than
Yes.
for the interest of the general public.
Oh, yes. No, thank you for saying that. I
Yeah.
think I agree. I agree, and I also think that because here's the thing, yeah, like I don't knock a journalist who wants recognition. The
Yeah.
awards definitely vet you in a way, but I
Yeah.
do feel like what I'm already seeing and me stepping more into this space is that there is a hierarchy. And a lot of them are very, very disrespectful. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I don't, not even just disrespectful, but like catty. It's
Yeah.
very much so. It's a game, and I think that with the recognition, I do think that a lot of us do want to be recognized, which is not an issue to want to have to be famous or be a public figure. That's not a problem. But
Yeah.
what I see is what I do see is that there is a level of prestige and snootiness that kind of comes. Prestige is a good thing, but like the snootiness
Yeah.
that kind of comes with the different spaces that people get access to,
Yeah.
um, in which I feel that they kind of forget. I don't want to say they forget where they came from because I don't know. I don't know everyone, right? But all I could say, how I could say it is that I don't. I guess maybe the spaces that they're in have made them kind of hard, to where they're just not warm people. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? At
Yeah.
least that's sort of what I've seen. But I've also met journalists who are warm people. But I guess the industry does kind of make you more cold in a
Yeah.
way. It's
Yeah.
like the Hunger Games. It's not an easy field to get into. It's not. It's not an easy field to get into. And I think that a lot of people go through a lot of shit to get where they are. You
Yeah.
get me? So they kind of carry that with them. But moving on, what are your thoughts on? Okay, so your friend was here. Your friend was here recently, and I still
Yeah.
have to drop part 2 of her show. But we talked about religion. So I
Yeah.
wanted to know for you if you're comfortable talking about it
Of course.
briefly as we get closer to the end of the show.
Yeah.
What are your religious views, and how do you feel about religion and who you are?
Yeah. To make it brief, again, shout out to my girl Brenda. Brenda, I love you so much. Oh my gosh, she's like the best ever.
I love her.
Um,
Yes.
I love Brenda. So I'm Roman Catholic. I'm a Catholic boy. I'm even if I didn't want to be, I have to be because I'm confirmed. So like, there's no there's no way back to anything else, which I wouldn't want to. But yeah, I grew up again very conservative family, very conservative environment, and my relationship with church growing up abrasive. I would volunteer at church every single Eastern, and the ladies would be like, "We all know you're gay. You need to hide it a little bit because we don't need to know that you're gay."
People are so
Um,
rude. God damn.
the rude, pardon my French, rude bitches. We don't care about
Right.
that. And I'll just say this because I think it's really poignant to this interview even. In a New Year's Eve celebration in Tatira, where my family is from, on my mom's side. My I was with my grandmother, my cousins, and my aunt. and half of the preaching in that church was about how gay men were going to hell on December 31st, New Year's Eve.
Oh,
And
I'm sorry
so,
for laughing. No, I know that's like a common story. Yes.
yes. And so I remember obviously being extremely flamboyant. I was 18, 19. I don't remember how old I was, but I was of age. And I remember just being sitting down normally. And when that began to happen, I just crossed my legs. And then I was like, ooh. I'm sitting like a woman, just like that. And
Yes.
people started looking at me. And then I was like, okay, okay. And then when the preacher stopped, I stood up. Everybody was still sitting down, and it was at least 150 people. It was like it was a big church. It was a lot of people. My grandmother went outside. All of them went outside. I walked in the middle of the hallway, the wrong way of you couldn't tell me nothing. It was Paris Fashion Week. Those hips, when I was like, you need to see me right now. I
Oh.
went to the guy in the middle, and there were other preachers behind him,
Mhm.
and they in my face they saw what I was that I was about to spew. The spirit was speaking to me, and I was like, sir, let me tell you something. Hi, hello, how are you? I'm 18. I've been depressed and I've been suicidal. And it is for people like you and the things that you preach hate to Christians like us,
Mhm.
that even though we believe you're trying to tear us down,
Mhm.
should be a space for love. This is a space for people to embrace each other. And
Mhm.
today, on December 31st, if anything, it should be a space where everybody should feel welcome and looking forward to next year. So you should look into your messaging because it can be really, really damaging. And the guy went pale.
Mhm.
He was like, "I'm so sorry. It's never gonna happen." Like he apologized to me,
So he was
and I
gagged.
could,
He was
and then
gagged.
and the people behind him, everybody was like, and I was like, "Thank you very much." And I turned around and I
I love
just
how
saw,
you got up and walked up there. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
and I was like, and I since that moment in my life forward, I just feel like as humans we have the power to change our environment and change, like if somebody gives you hate, you don't have to take that hate. If somebody, like, you know what I mean, like
Right.
it, like I told you in Trans Pride, just you being up there speaking, regardless of what you're gonna say, that's power, and that's
Thank
your
you.
power.
Thank you so
Remember I told you that.
No, I
um
appreciate that because when I was up there talking, I was like, I didn't get to say everything I needed to say. Like I was like, yes, no, but thank you for saying that
yeah,
because I was after I got off
yeah.
stage, I was like, did I say everything? I feel like I didn't really get to really say what I wanted to say. You know what I mean? I was trying my best, but they took
No,
the
you
moment
did.
at a time.
You
It was a
said
mess.
great.
It was a
But
mess.
to finish my point really quickly, my
Mhm.
relationship with God and with religion today, it is heavily influenced by Brenda, and by her being the first person in my entire life that was both queer and of faith, and that kind of had those two things not be against each other but unite each other.
Mm.
And I feel so much more in, like, I feel like God has my back because Brenda showed me that that can happen.
Mm.
And so I'm so grateful to her and to Cesar as well, her brother, because they showed me that it was possible to be both and to be proud in both and not to feel like you're walking two different lanes, but it's the same lane, just different colors. So yeah.
That is so beautiful. Um, okay, so really quickly, I know we're coming to end. We still have a game to play at the end. But I want to chat about your love life. Do you feel comfortable discussing that? I was
Yeah,
like,
no problem. No
so
problem.
so where do we start with that? Are you dating right now? How's dating going, or are you in a relationship?
None of that. In Spanish, I'm gonna say this word, which I was just talking to my mom about it. Hombre no es gente. That means men are not people. Men,
They're not people. Oh my
they're
God.
not people. Um, I feel right now I'm vibing high, being on my own. If I wanna go watch movie, I say girls, movie night. Or even if I don't call girls, I go on my own. I wanna go
Mhm.
dance, I say like I feel so good in my independence right now that I
Mm.
think having a man at this exact moment where so many things are happening to me, it would be
Mm.
a distraction. Um, I see people, here and there, and I can go on dates, I can do this, I can do that, but I don't need neediness. and I don't need, like, I'm needing myself, but I'm needed with myself, not with somebody else.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm very, very happy in this stage of my life where I get to explore myself, understand what it is that I want. Because for 21 years I couldn't explore that. So
Wow.
now I'm finding out I like this. I don't like this. Um, it's a very interesting phase of my life. But again, being able to give myself the time and space to explore it has been everything. And so holding myself close to me and um, I don't know. Also, little side note, I do speak other languages, and I use men as a mean to a linguistic end, in the sense that I speak to French men to learn French. I speak to Italian men to
Yes.
learn Italian. Yeah.
You said, honey, I speak multiple languages. We out here having fun, child.
Period. Period.
I live. I love it. I love it. Yes. This is
So
juicy.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
going great.
Okay, so yeah, because you are still so very young. You know, the way that you carry yourself, you're young and you look young, but I'm saying your spirit, you seem older than what you are, right? Because even as you were saying
Yeah.
that, I was like, oh, you still young as hell, so of course you're not tied down. I'm like, you're like, honey, I'm out here living my life, girl. I'm independent. I don't want no man.
Yeah.
So I love that. All right. Well, wait, let me see if I missed anything here as we come to a close before we play our game.
Oh, but
Mm,
before that, I just want to make a really quick note to the
yes.
present time.
Yeah.
That today my relationship with my family is fantastic. My cousins are great now. I'm really close with my dad now. That didn't happen when I was growing up for my
Mm,
sexuality. He's
yeah.
come around, so love it, and I love you, and we love each other. With my
Mm.
brother, everybody. I think since I've come clean to everything, um, it has been everybody who even high school bullies are my friends now, and we can kiki, and it's fun because I've
Mine's
forgiven them.
apologized to me too. My high school bullies, a few of them apologize to me now.
No, but even if they hadn't, I'm like, I know where you live. Like, you better apologize. But whatever. But
Not
but
pulling on you. Don't threaten nobody on the show now. Not on my show. Don't threaten nobody.
positivity. No, but yeah, I feel so grateful to have good friendships. And again, I kind of didn't want to say this because I like this being a happy space, but I'll just say, and then we can move on to the other place. That in this month, I've lost two of my best friends from Venezuela.
I'm so
That were my age. Thank you.
sorry.
And that is only taught me to live so like to garner to like carry memories so much more in my heart, good memories, and to when I'm with my friends, I'm not in my phone. I'm with my friends and I'm vibing to them. If I'm on a date, I'm looking at you. I'm connecting with you because tomorrow I don't know if when I cross down the street, a car is gonna hit me and it's over. You know what? I after
Mm.
all of this month, it has only taught me to be so much more standing where my therapist. Who, okay, shout out to Brian. I miss you, my therapist in the LGBT center. To be where my feet are, and to really just because I can be a lot of like in the future and like time will be like this. Just be where you are because you'll never know. You never know.
Mm.
And so again, I'm very grateful to have had those friendships, those divas, those both queer women that I connected with, angels that I have in the sky now. But yeah, I'm just very grateful for the present moment of time.
Thank you. No, and thank you for sharing that. And I just want to say it's such an honor to sit with you and talk to you, and thank you for coming to this podcast and coming to my show, because a lot of people, they care about the numbers, they care about the views, they care about the followers, and the fact that you just really are so open to sharing who you are with me. And even in this recording, I feel like we're getting to know each other more because we met
Yes.
we met a few months ago. You know what I mean? So, it's just such an honor for you to open up that way, and feel safe with me to do that. And I really send my condolences to your two friends that you lost recently.
Thank
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna play a game of this or that as we come to a close of the podcast episode here with the Pride series with my beautiful journalist trainee Andres Veliz, the
And
diva.
Spice Girl Extraordinaire, let me tell you.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Okay, so the game of this or that. So the point of this game is to just You pick one option and you just say why you picked it. It's a fun way to let people get to know you and a little bit about your
Okay.
personality. Okay.
Okay.
So, club, like night clubbing or going to the club, or going out to like an intimate private setting.
Ooh, depends with the company, but I would say right now 23 in the club. Let's go to the club.
Yes. She said night clubbing. Yes. I love it. Okay. America or Venezuela?
Ooh, Venezuela in my heart, America right
You got to choose one.
now. America. Ooh,
Okay.
they're gonna come for me. Are we gonna come? I'm here. I'm in America right now. In America.
Yes. Okay. Dining in or dining out?
Dining out.
Dining out. So going out to eat. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you like to go out to eat?
I listen.
I love going
I
out to
like
eat.
to see
Oh,
places, do things, and eat stuff, and
I
that's
hear
that.
that. I
Yeah.
hear that. Okay. This might be a little, you could choose to not answer this one if you want.
Get it. Throw it.
Oh, this is messy. People are going to judge me for this one. Okay, if you're watching this, we're having fun, okay? We are classy girls. We are
I'm,
classy journalists.
I'm
We're classy
nervous.
journalists.
Say it. Say it.
Okay, top or bottom?
Oh, verse.
You don't have to answer it. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. You don't
Verse.
have to. Wait, did you answer it?
I said verse.
Yes. Okay. You said both, honey. That's the only one I'm gonna let you choose both.
Okay. Wait,
Okay.
let me get my phone. Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay, we're
yeah, we're
almost done.
playing
Yeah,
this.
I know it's getting hot up in there. We're almost done. Okay, Spider-Man or Batman?
Oh, it's Spider-Man. Any day of the week, girl.
Oh, okay. Okay. Catwoman or Supergirl?
Catwoman.
I love Catwoman. She's
Eartha
sickening.
Kid, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Cat.
Catwoman is sickening. I also like when Halle Berry played her. I know a lot of people didn't like when Halle Berry played her, but
No, I was vibing to her. Halle Berry could be my sister. I
like
love
literally,
her.
I have the video game Catwoman on like on the PlayStation.
Well, wait, little T, that's my Halloween costume this year, but don't tell nobody.
Ew. Yes, I'm here for it. Yes. Alrighty. Well, that's all I have for the game of. Wait, I have one more. I have one more because you're a Libra.
Yeah.
So, Scorpio or Aries, as far as dating goes.
Ooh, you know you're Libras. Um, uh, Aries are too stubborn. Scorpios, yeah.
You would choose a Scorpio over an Aries?
I would. It depends.
You gotta say why. You gotta say why.
Like the Aries are too stubborn for me. I get stressed out with stubbornness, but the Scorpios are stubborn, but like fun. But like, in my experience. So if
Wait,
I
so
were
you think
to
Aries are stubborn people?
extremely stubborn people, but really hot and sexy, but very stubborn nonetheless. So you know what? Let's do something. For cuffing season, Scorpio. For the summer, Aries.
Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I hope you felt and had a good time here. I don't edit my show currently because
It's
I'm in
cool.
school right now and I don't have a lot of time, child.
I
But in the
know.
future, I will start editing episodes. But no, thank you for coming, and I really hope you had a good time. Could you let the viewers know where to find you on the socials?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for hearing this beautiful conversation. Two divas connecting.
Yeah.
Um, again, Andres Veliz. You can find me on Instagram. In you can Google, like, you can search on Kaleef followers, and then you're gonna find me there. This is me.
Not go to Khalif page. I love it. Yeah, so they can follow me because I need some followers. Okay.
Well, you can follow her too, please. Thank you very much. Let me do it in Spanish. Para toda mi gente que está viendo esto, me siguen a Kaleef, por favor, síganla. Muchas gracias. So, you can find me in @_Bellatrix_. It's written _VELI TRIX_. Or you can find it in the Kaleef social media.
Yes, yes, I will definitely post your socials with my socials. And viewers, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have questions for Andres, if you want to connect, comment on this video. I'll put his socials in the what is it, the summary for the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And also too, for me, follow me at Kaleef now on Instagram and Twitter. I am on Facebook, but I don't like Facebook like that. It's a mess. So follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Kaleef Now. That's KALEEFNOW. I'm also on TikTok, but I barely use that, child. And comment below on your thoughts about this conversation, you all. Become more engaged. I do have 90 of y'all who watch this channel, so be engaged. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and thank you so much for tuning in and watching. And this was so fun. Andres, stay on as I go ahead and end this recording. And thank y'all for watching.
Thank you.